have this idea of starting out a university student series. I'm applying for uni this year and I've already gone through kind of the UCAS process. I just thought whilst I'm going through it I can help and give advice to everyone else that's going through it at the same time, or people that are going to go through it next year, year after. So I'm going to start in non-chronological order, which means I'm just going to start from the most recent thing that's happened to me, and that's a Bournemouth interview. I know this probably doesn't make sense because I should probably talk about my course that I want to do, my personal statement, the whole UCAS process. But I recently had my interview and I want to kind of talk to you about it before it kind of goes and whilst it's still fresh in my mind. So I sent off my UCAS form a few days before the Christmas holidays, and I think probably 3 weeks after we came back I got an interview for Bournemouth. They send you an email with a link to an event website that has all the dates on it. So I think most of the dates were on Wednesdays, but I might be wrong. It'll probably be different next year anyway. And then it had the AM date, which would have been you have to register at 9 o'clock, and then PM where you have to register at 12:30. I live 4 hours away from Bournemouth, so I applied for the PM one, which meant I had to register at 12:30 to 10 to 1. And then the actual event started at 1. If you're like me and you need someone to drive you, like your parents or, you know, a friend that might be attending the day as well, you can book parking. And also if it is your parent, they have a finance talk for I think half an hour, might be an hour. The event for you, that'll be 3 hours, but I'll tell you in a minute. It was really relaxed. It will probably end before 3 hours. I do advise you, or they recommend you, to get a portfolio. They say on the course website when you're applying, and also at the email for the interview. If you're applying for journalism, like I am, I don't know if I actually mentioned that, but I'm applying for journalism and it's advisory that you have a portfolio. Alongside creating a portfolio, I would advise, which is what I did, to look up online about, you know, people's different experiences of the day, because I'm not sure whether everyone has a different experience or if each interview is different, because mine was not really different, a lot more relaxed than I had read. There were people from 2007 saying about their experience from it, and they were saying how you have an interview which you kind of do. The day before the interview I was thinking up so many questions and all my answers to it, and I was like, if they ask me what experience I have, I'm gonna say this answer and all this cool stuff. And they didn't really, it wasn't a one-to-one interview, it was very group interview kind of thing. Basically I'm gonna just get on with talking about what actually happened on the day. Left at 9 AM and we arrived around 11:30. If you are driving, leave space for traffic and anything that just might get in your way. We were going to go into town to have lunch, but we decided just to have it at the uni. They have a salad bar and kind of a curry salad bar kind of thing, I don't know, and then a Costa and a pizza place. I couldn't have anything for other reasons that I might talk to you about in another video if you're interested. So I just had a salad. So if you are kind of going there, now you know that there's not much food. Then we went up to the journalism kind of building bit. There's a big kind of Monsters Inc. Slee toy, or it's not really a toy, it's a statue. My dad and I waited until 1 o'clock. With the journalism interviews, there were the animator interviews as well, and they were all dressed up in suits and had like ginormous portfolios, and I was like, shit, that's because I thought they were journalism ones. I was like, shit, I'm not as prepared as them. I'm basically wearing what I am now, and minus the hat obviously. and then I realised there were animator interviews, and that made sense because apparently animation is really good at Bournemouth. They've won 3 Oscars, so if you're doing animation, go to Bournemouth. The lecturer then came in and she kind of rounded us all up, and we followed her into one of the lecture rooms, and you know, she just talked about the course. They know that you're nervous and they need you as much as you need them, so you know, they're not trying to sell the course to you, but they're trying to make you feel comfortable so that if you do go here, it's an environment that you're familiar with. You're already friends with, you know, everyone, and everyone was just really friendly. I didn't encounter anyone that was mean or kind of gave me evil looks. I probably gave evil looks, but I can't help that. At the end of that talk, she asked us if we have any questions. I would advise you think of a question and ask it. At any point in the day, just ask it, because they ask you a lot of times if you have any questions, and if you do, that just makes you stick in their head, basically. I mean, everyone knows that, and if you're going to be a journalist, then you've got to ask questions, and it shows that you're interested in the course. We were then divided into 3 groups, and my group went with the lecturer, and we just kind of chatted a bit more, and she was just telling us a bit more about the course. Again, she was really friendly, and then she asked us what experience we had. And it wasn't one-to-one. We were in a group of about, I think probably six or more people, and we had to tell them and the lecturer what our experience was. When she was asking us what experience we had, she was actually really friendly about it, and you know, she took account of what you said, and she'd actually respond to what you said rather than just kind of nod and go That lasted about an hour, and then one of the other students came and they picked us up. Then we went into the radio room, which is tiny. She told us about the radio sector in the course, and then showed us someone's work. That took about 10 minutes, and then for the remainder of the time we were just asking questions about the uni. They don't even have to be about the uni, they could be about drinking, the clubs, where to go, how to get back, accommodation, you know, whatever. They were second years, so they had quite a bit of experience. That overran a bit, so probably about an hour and 10 minutes, and then we went over to television, and then she talked about the course a little bit, showed us her work, and then we were free to do any questions. Actually, she did ask if any of us wanted to sit behind the camera in kind of the newsroom bit, because below the camera there was the you know, the generic writing script thing that you read from, it's all a lie. And one of the girls went up, and then she started talking, and she was really coherent. She turned into a different person when she went up. I was like, if I was up, I would be like how I am now, which is really incoherent, and I stutter, and these videos take me a really long time to edit because there's so much, because I can't get my words out. After that, she took us back to the place where we were at before the whole event, and she said, "Oh, you're free to go now. It's fine." I was like, "Is that's it? It's not even an interview, it's like an open day." And I was like, "Oh, I don't feel like I kind of stood myself out at all." And then a few days later I got a conditional offer, and I was like, "Oh, okay then." So moral of the story is, don't worry. There's nothing to be worried about unless you're applying for a science degree at Oxford. They're fine. They love it. They love you. They want you. So they're gonna be nice. They're not intimidating. I thought everyone would have a lot more experience than me and would be incredibly engaged with like the lecturer and be so interested in the course and have such a vibe about them that would make the lecturers want to adopt them, but everyone was the same as me. They were as worried as me, and they were as anxious, and no one had questions when they were first asked. And it just goes to show that you're on the same boat as them. The hardest part now is actually getting the grades. If you do get an offer, Bournemouth will send you a kind of official letter thing, and they will say what grade you need, which is tailored to your subjects. Don't worry too much about what you need to wear. Just go casual, comfortable, but not inappropriate and not slouchy. Next week I have an open day with Northumbria, which is a 5-hour train journey from where I live, which will be really fun. But I might vlog that, though it will just literally be moving trees the whole time. And then in a few weeks I have an interview with Canterbury, so I'm still worried about that. Now I have to put a disclaimer on this. The interview that you have might be different to mine. This is only my experience and I can only tell you my experience. So if you experience a more hard-hitting interview, or like an actual interview, or even something that's a lot more relaxed than what I experienced, then please share your experience below, because I mean everyone needs help. I've chosen to tell you my experience because there's no harm in helping someone else get a heads up, and if you've actually searched for what's gonna happen, then you deserve to know. If you have any questions about my experience, any suggestions on what videos I can do, then please comment down below. Like this video if you'd like this series to continue, although it probably will anyway, and you know, share to your friends, subscribe, everything like that. Don't comment on my hat because I'm having a bad hair day. So that's it for now. I'll see you next week, maybe, probably.